full name and your location to the comment section. All right, let's get back to the game in front of us. 15 minutes on the clock. You cannot call us. You cannot call us as we're doing this. You can only call us. We'll take your call, all your calls during halftime. But right now, send us a message, WhatsApp message, SMS, and we'll read it right here on the show. Don't call us. Do not call us. You're disrupting a lot of things we're doing right here. Just send us an SMS, a WhatsApp text, and we're going to read your message on the show. All right, it's been a ding-dong for the last 5 minutes, Jude. Plenty of infringements from two sides. The referee has had to come to the rescue of the beautiful game of football.
Yeah, what I've seen so far, Kufre, I think the Super Falcons should have been 2 goals up by now, given the number of chances that they've missed. I've also seen good strength from Eazor and Esther Okonkwo, good strength, and the way they're closing the South Africans down, it's positive for me, and it gives this hope that truly this game might just be going the Super Falcons' way. One thing they must do in this game is to take their chances. They can't be spawning chances in a tie like this, where a goal is very, very important, and a goal can actually change the momentum of the game. So they really need to take their chances and be leading. I think by this time in the quarterfinals we were leading already, and we've had almost similar chances and they've been spawned. I'm not too comfortable with it, and one player for me too that must improve in a final ball is Alozie. She really needs to improve. She did that against Zambia, and Bashir Sajibade compensated in that wing for her, but I would like her to improve in this particular game.
I do like her strength. She has plenty of energy, bumping forward from a defensive position. She's done that a couple of times under 15 minutes already. And like you said, a final ball, very, very important. The Super Falcons winning possession of the ball once again inside the center circle. And that was a nice one from, offside called against Esther Okoronkwo. We've had 5 shots on goal in this game, 4 to Nigeria and 1 to South Africa. It tells you where the pendulum has swung to so far in 18 minutes of this game at the Laubi Zaoli Stadium in Casablanca. It's been the home of the Super Falcons since the start of this competition. They won the group, they stayed there. Zambia came, defeated them 5-0, and the South Africans have equally come there. And this is the running test of the running strength of Michelle Alozie called into action, and then she came through wonderfully right there. Throw-in taken by the South Africans, and like the fact that Super Falcons are not giving the South Africans any room to play their game. The South Africans are well fleet-footed. They like commanding possession of the ball. They like putting the ball on the floor, on the turf, and they got into the danger zone there of the Super Falcons, but not one to trouble the best goalkeeper on the continent, Chiamaka Nnadozie. And I think that Jude, the Super Falcons defenders must watch out for the split-second passes of the attackers of South Africa in the danger zone of the Nigerians when the South Africans attack. Yeah. But before you say anything, this is Esther Okoronkwo coming through, but I think she pushed that up too much, and she lost possession of that one. It will be advantage to the South Africans. They were able to tidy up that almost missed possession, and they have the ball back, trying to saunter their way into the center half. Yes, that has been done. They have possession of the ball. They will throw one in. They want to attack from the right side of the attack, where we have Ashley Plumter, and of course she's ever reliable, strong, and very fit up to the task as far as this game is concerned. Yeah, Ashley Plumter, she's been solid so far in this tournament, one of the best players, for the Super Falcons. And Kufre, what we saw now, the South Africans did, against the Super Falcons in this tournament. You can see how they just sliced the Super Falcons defense open with their passes, with movement, and this is one thing we've not seen, and it tells you about the quality of the opponent that you're playing. When you get to see things like this, it tells you that this opponent, their quality side, and you must be very wary of the threats. And this
is the thing I was talking about. Alozie, our final balls. Our final balls. Yes, it's fantastic the way she defends and the way she defends and the way she lunges forward. But that final ball has always been the problem. I noticed that in the game against Zambia, and I'm seeing a repeat today again, which of course might prove costly for Nigeria if going into the attack.
All right, definitely. I think that the Super Falcons must take advantage of the opportunities. Yes, they must do. It's been a poor setting last 20 minutes, and I think that the referee on the dot of 20 minutes has called for a water break for the two teams. So the two teams going for some refreshments. Yes. Going for some refreshment. Okay, not break, not water break. I think that there's an injured player on the turf from the part of the South Africans, and the medical team of the Bayana has called for one. Don't know if she's exhausted under the heat of Casablanca or she's injured. But other players on the pitch taking advantage of that one for a water break, water refreshments for them to get some energy back. It's like I said, it's been back to back pulsating last 20 minutes of action. We just hope that the Super Falcons will not rue these misses that they've had so far. Like I said earlier on, it's been 4 shots on target for them inside the first 15 minutes of this encounter, and they were not able to convert one of those. The South Africans have not been able to adequately penetrate the defense of the Super Falcons. They have been impregnable so far in this competition. We might have a first substitution in this game quite early in this encounter because of South African who went down without being contacted. All right, so we're not sure of what the challenge is for her, but the game's medical team with the stretcher definitely around are available for her to help her to ease the situation. Dude, I mean, it's an opportunity for the girls from Nigeria to talk to themselves and see what they need to do better from the 20 minutes of action we've had so far.
Yes, of course, it's a good time for them to reflect on how they've approached this game. So far for me, Kufre, the approach has been good. I love what I'm seeing. Just little gaps there, but of course they've been really good so far. And I think the defense line should keep its compactness. That compactness we've seen them kept throughout this tournament. They should maintain that against this side. We've seen how slick they are with the ball, the passes and all of these things, how they've been able to split open the defense of the Super Falcons in the blink of an eye. So it tells you the attacking threat, and if they are allowed to play, this is what you get. And when you look at South Africans midfield, I think that's where the ball really is. That's where they orchestrate whatever they do, and Super Falcons midfielders should be able to press them so high, and press them and force them so that they don't get to make those passes. They don't get a control of the game, because that's where the game will be decided. That midfield for South Africans, if they get into control, I think they can really host the Super Falcons.
All right, the referee started the game a few seconds ago, but we've seen another injured South African player, this time around the goalkeeper, and Dylan Lamy, number 16. She's been wonderful so far for the South Africans. I think twice she has saved her team as she should, because it's her job to ensure that as the final man of the defense line of the Rainbow Nation team, she must do her very best to ensure the ball doesn't go past her, and so far she's done a yeoman's job, keeping about 2 of the 4 shots on target off. We saw one that resulted in the corner kick to the Super Falcons of Nigeria, and of course the one of the double opportunities in split seconds that the team had. I think that there's going to be a first substitution for South Africa. Jersey number 17, Tiseto Makubela, definitely has had enough of this game. She's going to have an early shower. And Magaya, one of the ladies who who was there in the 2022 edition in Morocco that helped South Africa to win this one. One of the experienced players as well. She's being prepared to come on board. We just saw Coach Justin Madugu give instruction to Halimatu Anyide, the defensive midfielder for the Super Falcons of Nigeria. During this break, let's see how these two coaches are able to reorganize their teams to get maximum or optimal results. The reserved goalkeeper for South Africa is equally warming up. Yes, Magaya has come through as replacement for Makubela, and so a fresh leg for the South Africans. I think it's a hamstring injury for Makubela, one of the defenders. Tiseso Makubela, one of the defenders for South Africa, and that's why she's been stretched off and replaced by Magaya. The goalkeeper, Andile Lami, she's okay. She's back on her feet, jersey number 16, and she will continue. I think at 25 minutes of this game, maybe we might just see 3-4 minutes added at the end of the first 45 minutes, but that's left for to the discretion of the center referee. And so Lamini will continue the action. Yes, the game has restarted with South Africa having possession of the ball, but that has been relinquished to the Super Falcons with Rashida Najibade on this side, captain for the Nigerian team. This is Jennifer Echegini taking it easy with the ball, playing with her defenders. Well done to Ashley Plumter, but that was just too much, and losing possession of the ball in that stead to the South Africans. But somehow the Super Falcons have won throw in inside the half still of the South Africans. And that has been taken bad touch there by that Nigerian player, Ijami Lucy, losing possession back to the South Africans. It's not been a fluid game, Jude, in the last 10 minutes. That should be a free kick to Nigeria. Tosin Dimei or Sinachi Ohale being clipped by that South African. It will be a free kick. That was not good. Jersey number 8 for South Africa. Doing that, talking about Magaya, and it's a free kick to Nigeria. But I think that the medical team of Nigeria will have to come on board and take care of the first goal scorer for Nigeria in the game against South Africa, Osinachi Ohale.
Yeah, Kufre, it's been a highly competitive game. Looking at how both teams have played, and we must give it to them. It's also an intense game. We can see the intensity has been end to end since there's this parity in terms of play was restored. In the early hours of the game, we saw the Super Falcons more in the game, taking the game to the South Africans. But at the time, wore on, we saw that the South Africans begin to find themselves into the game again, and of course the intensity is there, the competitiveness is there, which of course is expected for such a fixture that is touted as the clash of the Titans. So what was seen is not something short of expectation. Is what we expected. The heat, and of course the pressure, and we can also see that it means a lot to these players and how much they're giving to ensure that this game is what we want.
Don't forget that you can share your thoughts with us on our platforms 0906 2023 907. That's our WhatsApp line. Send your WhatsApp message there, include your name and where you are texting from. You can also text us SMS on 0906 2024 907. 0906 2024 907. The game has restarted. The South Africans have possession of the ball inside the half of the Super Falcons. Here they come again, and Jennifer Echegini defending there in inside the 18-yard box of the Super Falcons, and the South Africans have a throw-in. This time around, the Super Falcons will defend these balls. South Africa through Salgado. Yes, Gabriela Salgado sends in a long one, nodded out of danger area by Ashley Plumter. Another throw into the South Africans on the other side of the game. All right, like we said earlier, you look at the start so far. just one corner kick in this game, and that's to the Super Falcons of Nigeria. All right, total shots played in this one, 4 to Nigeria and 2 to the Bayern of South Africa. And it's 6 shots on target in this game, 2 to the South Africans, the rest to Nigeria. Nigeria frantically defending this one, and yes, they've done that one with a Plumter sending a long one out of the danger area of the Super Falcons of Nigeria. Once again, throw into South Africa. In terms of expected goals in this one, favors Nigeria at 0.46 compared to 0.13 of the South Africans. But possession now has swung in the direction of the South Africans, 62% to that of Nigeria, 38%. Salgado is the one running the lines on the left side of their play. Okay, Michel Alozie teaming up with Rasheedat Ajibade to win a throw-in. The referee says otherwise. South Africa would take that one for the opportune time. Another throw-in to them. All right. That throw-in wasn't taken at the right spots, and the referee called back the earlier one. South Africa will go again. They've taken that one, redirecting or repositioning the game to the heart of the field. A long one will be sent in there by that defender towards where Ashley Plumter resides, and that was supposed to be one that should get to that lone South African in the danger zone of the Super Falcons, but it was not well taken by Lebohang Ramalepe. She did very well in that game against their last opponent, Senegal, and she's one of the 7 goal scorers for the South Africans, but there was a poor delivery from her on the right side of the attack. This is Nigeria with possession of the ball once again. Chiwendu, he also plays with Ashley Plumter. It's been a long time that we saw the Super Falcons attack the South Africans, and they just did that time around. But South Africa playing that one out of touch, throwing coming to them. Esther Okoronkwo was chasing that one down by the South African, talking about Karabo Namini not taking chances, clearing that one out for throwing to Nigeria. Throwing has been taken, and the Super Falcons have just won their second corner kick of this game, courtesy of a job well done by the Al Ittihad captain, Ashley Plumter. Communicating with Folashade Ijamilusu, who's been the corner kick taker for the Super Falcons in this game, saw a brief moment there. Folashade and Ashley talking about perhaps where she's going to deliver that corner kick to. Ashley Plumter perhaps now to send it to the back of the cluster of players, and she comes up with corner kick. It's been taken. The goalkeeper for South Africa had no one disturbing her. She took that one off the air. That was a nice block. Last 5 minutes, Jude, what have you seen?
Well, there's been a contrast in the way both teams, are playing. One is the Super Falcons have been playing with the long balls. If you've noticed, there's the long balls. We saw that also in the Zambians in the game against Zambia. For South Africans, they're more of a ball-playing team. As we can see, they move the ball around beautifully, and they've found their way into the game because there's a balance now. So to say, unlike when we saw in the early minutes of the game, so there's this balance now in the game, and the Super Falcons, I think the momentum has dropped, and the South Africans, they are doing enough with the ball, which of course is not really looking too good. However, they've held their lines, but I think they should try whatever they need to do, or whatever they have to do to maintain shape and structure, and also not let the embers, that fire that they started with, die.
Just saw Coach Justin Madigo telling his girls to move out of the danger zone, not allow the South Africans peg them back, and this that was a good turn, but she's not mindful of opponents around her. Talking about Esther Okoronkwo, still has possession of the ball, talking about Super Falcons, and that was a good one from Jennifer Chegini. Will Esther Okoronkwo get there on time? Yes, she does, and she stopped that one from going out cross, blocked by that South African who have possession of the ball, and they will play out from their defense. They're doing that beautifully. So, like you said, Jude, the fire that the Super Falcons started this game with, the hunger and the speed at which they started this game with has dissipated a bit, but they're still in there. Rasheedat Ajibade wins possession back. Echegini with the ball, has a man on her, and unfortunately misplaced that pass that has been repossessed by the South Africans. Don't know what happened there, but this is just a number 2 level hang Ramalipe being stopped there by Chinwendu Ozo. Yes, beautifully dispossessed by someone who's stronger than her. Ashley Plumter plays with Jennifer Echegini, who's supposed to be the creative midfielder, getting all the balls, and that is Ozo brought down, but the referee says the South African won that ball cleanly. So the ball is in the center circle. Hijamilisi comes back to defend. Salgado for South Africa. This is Jane, captain for the South Africans. Spread the ball to the right side. This is Hilda Magaya. Sends a long one in, trying to connect with Jamin Sopesenwe, but that was a misplaced pass that went straight into the legs of Chiamaka Nadozie. How many minutes on the clock? We're talking 36 minutes on the clock. The Super Falcons, but that defender did well to obstruct The referee has just blown for a free kick. Not free kick. The ball continues. The game continues for the Nigerians. We don't know exactly what happened right there. Was it free kick against the Nigerians? Or that was well done by that defender, jersey number 5, Fikile Magama. But it's a throw into the Super Falcons. The referee saw nothing wrong with a tussle between Yozo and Makama, and goal kick to the South Africans. It's been some words an untidied game so far in the last 5-10 minutes. The opportunities, goal scoring opportunities, aren't coming again, especially from the side of the Nigerians. Of course, based on stats, they've had more danger balls. They've been in more position to score in this encounter against the South Africans, but nothing so far to show for it. And it's going to be a goal kick to the South Africans. They will play this one out. And referee has just given them the order to do so. Wonder what Justin Madugu will tell the girls in terms of how to reignite the fire within them, just like Champion Radio does to the listening audience. That's for the second 45 minutes. But accurate passes, we just saw the stats now, favors the South Africans.
Yeah, Akufre, I told you already, this is game. The way both teams play is quite different. You see the Super Falcons, they play with the long balls, and the South Africans, they knock the ball around. And the Super Falcons, a good part about their game is that they're also very direct. That's why you've seen that they've had more goal threat plays in this particular game. They're very direct. Look, when you look at Eyozo and Okonkwo, Ajibade, they're very direct with their approach, and it's also good for them, you know. So we just hope that I only wish that they are taking their chances earlier on. That would have put them in a very good position right now, and that would have probably opened up South Africans a bit, you know, to come out, you know, to play better as it is. South Africans, they look like a team who has, you know, found their rhythm, and they're back in the game.
Back in the game, and they're not giving the Nigerians breathing space, even as they attack them. Throwing to the Super Falcons. Of course, Ramalipe not giving Ashley Plumter any opportunity. That was a piece of skill from Jennifer Echegini, the lady that's been given the mantle, the authority to run things in the midfield creatively, attacking wise for the Super Falcons. Here are the South Africans trying to hit the Nigerians on the counter attack. Jamin on the right side, looking for someone to support her. Siopo Senwe, and yes, they've come in their droves, but enough time for the Super Falcons players to as well defend their lines, and that they will do. And a shot there, and that will go over the bar, and goal kick to Nigeria. They need to up the ante, they need to up the energy. The vibes of this game has really gone down. I mean, it's even affecting us right here in the live studios of Champion 90.7. Less action moments to talk about in this one. No thanks to the last 20 minutes or 15 minutes of game by South Africa and Nigeria. In case you just tuned in, welcome to our live studio coverage of the first semi-final of the Women's Africa Cup of Nations 2024 in Morocco between 9-time African champions Nigeria and the reigning defending champions Bayana of South Africa. And you can also join us on our live feed, live platforms on Facebook and YouTube. Champion 90.7 FM. Go there. You can watch us live. You can as well listen to us. And most importantly, for you can predict and win from our cash pool of 50,000 naira. Just predict the scoreline of this game between South Africa and Nigeria. And if your prediction is correct, you will get 2,000 naira cash. Yes, Salgado doing well to hold that ball right there and playing with her goalkeeper, Andile Lamini. All right, South Africa possession of the ball in their favor from the defense, and the gusto, the energy, the pace, the runs of the Nigerians really has gone down. And I think both of them are just waiting for the second 45 minutes because there's no intensity on how they are attacking their opponent. That was a good one, and that must be so costly for Super Falcons. But there was Osinachi Ohale, or is it Tosimeni, running at that South African player, and she had to quickly release the ball. That will not even hurt a fly, just glancing through the lines of Chiamaka Nadozie. Goal kick to the Super Falcons of Nigeria. The Falcons cannot allow the South Africans to do that. That was a bit of taking their eyes off the ball. That would easily have been the first goal in this game, and one to South Africa if that was well positioned beyond the reach of goalkeeper Chiamaka Nadozie, but it was not well taken by that South African player Jamin Sopo-Senwe, and action continues. 42 minutes on the clock. Welcome to our live studio coverage of this one on Champion 90.7 FM. In case you just tuned in, all right, the starting lineup for the Super Falcons: Chiamaka Nadozie in goal, Michel Alozie, Osinachi Ohale, not forgetting Ashley Plumter and Tosin Dimenyi in the defense, Halimatu Anyide, Rashidat Ajibade, and Jennifer Echini in the midfield, Esther Okoronko, Folashade Ijami Lucy, and Chiwendu Iozo up front for the Super Falcons of Nigeria. It's throwing to the Super Falcons. Referee ordering that throw to be taken, and Michel Alozie will do justice to that one. She wants to send in a long one. Let's see how effective that will be to the grand scheme of things for the Super Falcons of Nigeria. And she's taking it. Jennifer Echegine, Esther Okoronko has been, yes, she's been told that was wrong for her, parrying opponents, or shoving opponent off the ball illegally. And so advantage to South Africa, free kick to them inside the 18-yard box. All right, a moment ago, Ijami Lucy, I think she's been a revelation in the knockout stages of the competition. Started her first game against Zambia and scored the final goal as the Super Falcons walloped Zambia by 5-0. Pass then intercepted by Halimatu Anyide, but a resultant pass was not good, but she won that one back. And then Rashida Ajibade has opportunity. That's a shot. Handball called. Would that be? And yes, penalty to the Super Falcons of Nigeria. Handball by the South Africans after Folashade Ijamilusu tried having a shot on target. Perhaps the VAR will be called into action to perhaps 100% confirm that decision by the center referee. But as we speak, penalty has been awarded to the 9-time African champions. That was a good turn, piece of skill from Folashade Ijamilusi, and that one was, yes, definitely looking at it, Jude, it was going to obstruct the trajectory of that play that was going on target, and the referee has called for a penalty to the Super Falcons of Nigeria.
Of course, Kufri. And, you know, I spoke earlier about how the Super Falcons have been really direct in this game. We've not seen a lot of knocking the ball around, but we've seen a team who has approached the game with directness and purpose. That has been the positive for me in this game. And I just want to see a team, you know, that we, go on, with the fire that they started this game with, which of course we've not seen, in the past 20 minutes now, because of the way the game has been. We've seen the South Africans, come back fighting in this particular tie, and that has somehow, reduced the energy of the
an opportunity for the Super Falcons. Captain will take this mantle, will take this opportunity. Rashida Ajibade steps forward, takes it, and she scores. It's goal number 1 for the Super Falcons of Nigeria. Rashida Ajibade picking a spot, but the goalkeeper for South Africa, and Dile Ndlami, went for that one, perhaps touched that one, beat, but the ball too heavy for her to stop, and Rashida Ajibade has put the Super Falcons in front in this one from the spot. It's the 9-time African champions, Super Falcons of Nigeria, 1. Bayana of South Africa, nil. Converted from the sport by Captain Rashidat Ajibade, and that's why celebration in the camp of the Super Falcons. Yes, it wasn't a fantastic penalty kick by Rashidat Ajibade. That was a little bit tense, tame rather, and it was not well angulated, but I think the power was there enough to beat the touch of the goalkeeper for South Africa and Dile Ndlami. Nonetheless, the Super Falcons lead by 1-0.
Yeah, they ought to have been leading by now. Let's not dwell on that now. It's joy for us, and this, of course, is going to change the game. And it's also good that Super Falcons will be ending the game with this lead. They have to keep this lead. It's an advantage for them coming into the second half and see what they can do, towards the South Africans. So far, as you can see, that intensity of the game has changed, because that is what a goal can do. And Super Falcons need to watch it and also maintain structure, maintain their shape as well, and also be able to press the South Africans and ensure that they don't concede in this game. You
can say that again. That's what a goal can do. Has brought the South Africans out of their shell, and perhaps the brightness of the rainbow has gone down, and now they want to see how